53 days since now 16-year-old Sebastian Rogers vanished from his home in Hendersonville. His disappearance sparked national headlines, but now his father says the case is losing momentum. With National Missing Children's Day coming up on Sunday, he is raising his voice and demanding urgency. News 2's Caitlin.
I went and talked to neighbors, and every single one of them, every single one, welcomed me. And if they had video surveillance, they gave it to me. The only person that would not talk to me, as the only person that had something to hide and wouldn't talk to me. You know, she has a son that's hiding and waiting for somebody in the dark, late night on the 25th. And there needs to be some explaining for that. I'll just leave it at that.
That we are going to keep searching, we are going to keep looking, we are going to find him, and we are going to bring him home.
Since we first aired the video last month, authorities have said no evidentiary value.
It is of no evidentiary value. It is of no evidentiary value.
Can you tell me what those lights are?
No.
Why?
Because the investigation remains ongoing.
Yeah, I'm working on behalf of Sebastian. I am not, my client is Sebastian, and they're the guardians that have the ability to sign.
It just started. Hi Dad, I know this is gonna sound weird, but tomorrow's picture day. So could you send some decent clothes over to me so that I can wear the decent clothes and be handsome for my birthday with all decent clothes? Mom!
Because our heart is missing. He is my world. I need him. I need him back with me.
All right, welcome everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday. Today's live, we are kind of, mic check. Okay, let me know how I sound in chat, please. We're going over the 2-year anniversary. I know we're a couple days now into it. But we do have an interesting potential connection that was shared with me via Silver's on the Scene. So shout out to him. We'll dive into that a little later. I was kind of scrolling through because obviously, sadly, you know, there's always cases, missing person cases, different other cases like Nancy Guthrie that start getting a lot of attention, and a lot of people are fixated on that, and so that kind of overshadows. And of course, that, you know, happened around the 2-year anniversary. So, not that nobody cares about Sebastian. Obviously, it's just, you know, there's only so much airtime and what to cover. But of course, this is why I am covering his case, because we care about Sebastian, spent so much time, effort, money, you name it, into this case, and we won't give up until we find him. But did SF respond to my cemetery investigation? Honestly, I have no idea, because I think he was supposedly going to come back, and then they had that huge ice storm. Was that in January? And he was going to come out, and then there was nothing. Yeah, it was. It was kind of like late January or something like that. He was supposedly coming out, and then of course the Nancy Guthrie, and then we've seen him all over that. So. And yeah, I really don't pay much attention to what he says. To me, He spends a lot of time on Twitter. I don't know how you find people on Twitter. I mean, there's information, but I don't know. He's a Twitter guy. I'm not. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then on top of that, well, let's just go over the very little coverage. Here we are on another anniversary. And just before I went live, and I've checked the last couple days just to see what channels or anything. I would think at the very least there'd been, a couple of different news channels, even Fox, like they did last year, do something, on his 1-year anniversary. And Katie even ended up doing 2 different interviews. And it looks like this year, I guess, 1 is enough, right? Because I can't find any secondary interview like she did last year. So it just shows you how much she's invested in getting his name out there. But let's just look. Here's a few short clips, and then I'll show you on YouTube. I think there's like 4 videos. More or less, they're the same on his 2-year anniversary. It's really sad, but there's one that's really pathetic. I'm not sure if it's this one, but I do have it ready if this isn't the one. We'll listen a little bit to the interview as people roll in, and then we'll get into what we have prepared for today's show.
2 years today.
15-year-old Sebastian Rogers has been missing in Sumner County for 3 days.
11 days.
6 months, 10 months.
1 year.
Fast forward to today with now 2 years of no answers.
Yeah.
2 years without
Pretty
Sebastian
much.
Rogers.
When I close my eyes, most of the time I'm waking up saying his name because he's there. He's there. I close my eyes and he's there.
Sebastian turned 17 years old in December. Holidays and special moments he should have spent with his family have come and gone.
Sebastian is a bright light. Fun, energetic, mischievous at times, but what kid isn't?
For Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, he says his days look much the same.
Asking people to hand out flyers, talk about Sebastian. If you have anything to send the tips in. The days are long, the years are quick.
Today, community members are holding up signs and demanding answers outside the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. His father asking that the Sheriff's Office step aside so the FBI can take over the case after he says the family has had no answers after 2 years.
No, Debbie.
There's other agencies that could help.
Yeah.
But they have to be willing. They have to be willing to put their ego aside for Sebastian's sake.
We feel that there should be a lot more going on with him, a lot more searches, isolated searches based upon reports that were garnered during this time. And we really think it's time for a press conference.
Seth tells me he will not stop fighting to bring Sebastian home.
I love you, son. I need you to call me. My phone number is still the same. I will not change my phone number so that you can get a hold of me so I can come get you.
We have reached out to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. They declined an interview, but say a statement will be released tomorrow. Anyone with information on Sebastian's whereabouts can call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office or the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND.
Well, protesters are voicing their frustration.
This is another one. I think 4 main ones, and then I think they literally uploaded like the same video from the same news channel with like a different title, but it's the same video. It's pathetic. Here's the other one. And then somebody told me to reach out to Nick Barris. I know a lot of people are not a big fan. But, I'm like, what the hell? What's it going to hurt, right? Doesn't matter how our feelings about somebody, if it can help Sebastian, potentially, let's do it. And so I did... I will show you an email I sent to Nick Barris. I think it was the 25th, or it could have been the 26th. We'll look at it here.
With investigators into the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. Today marked the 2-year anniversary of the vanishing of the Sumner County teenager.
Jordan James was there as those protesters gathered outside the sheriff's department.
With Sebastian Rogers being missing for 2 years, supporters are demanding action, prompting them to bring their message directly to law enforcement.
Bring in the FBI!
Chants filled the air.
Where is Sebastian Rogers?
2 years is too long.
As passion pours out,
We need to do something.
bring a handful of people together,
I'm here to support Sebastian Rogers.
marking 2 years since the teen with autism was last seen.
This child deserves to be found. No child should be ever forgotten, and this child needs to be found.
In the days that followed his disappearance, multiple law enforcement agencies conducted searches
Rob,
to no
that's
avail,
such a great
leading
comment.
supporters to call for federal authorities to take
That's
over
so
this
weird you
investigation.
mentioned that.
They need to be out here looking and searching every place. There's no reason for them to say that they just need one clue. A kid needs justice. He needs to be brought home to his dad.
I sent them a clue.
Sumner County Sheriff tells WSMV4 the case remains active and encourages people to remain vigilant. Words that have fallen flat for some 2 years later.
It's frustrating that not enough's being done. They're not saying his name.
Reporting in Sumner County, Jordan James, WSMV4.
So the pathetic statement from Sumner County. I'm not going to read all of it because it's just a bunch of garbage, but the highlight is Sebastian remains a missing person. His disappearance continues to be treated as an active and open investigation. Notice they highlight the active and open investigation, or bold it. They say how many other agencies are involved. And then where's the other pathetic part? Maybe it's on that second page. All credible tips are reviewed and followed up appropriately. I'm 50-50 on that one because, like I said, there was what seemed a bit of communication when we first sent the cemetery stuff over, but again, it was really just one-sided. So, but it did give us at least an idea that is connected to the case, the cemetery footage. So, is that it? Was there something in the beginning? Yeah, that's it. Anyway, that's pathetic. No press conference, no nothing. So here is me. Does that have the date? I just took a quick screenshot. That would have been the 25th or the 26th. But as you can see, it's Nick Barris up here. I emailed him. I sent him the footage from the cemetery, just highlights, of course, that we did GPR and cadaver dog searches. And here, I kind of explained it in the email, talking about how the lights are moving on 2 different nights and they correlate with each other, as if this was some kind of preparation for him going missing. And so, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the 25th. So here we are 3 days later, and absolutely nothing. No response from Nick Barris. So with Rob's comment, that's interesting you mentioned that. So I was going to mention a little bit later, but I guess since you mentioned it now, I guess it would kind of correlate with what we're talking about now. What I never thought about is, and it may be tough right now because the Nancy Guthrie, obviously, even though it is kind of cooling down, except for with that video that came out with the vehicle. It'd be interesting to try to reach out to news outlets such as News Nation, Fox, some of the big ones, and send them an email, with kind of what I've shared here with Nick Barris, maybe say like in a week, as let's say in theory, the Guthrie case kind of cools down, and they're looking for other, things to cover. It would be interesting if we could send that out to some of the different news outlets and see if they would pick that up. I would love, man, could you imagine if they picked that up? That, to me, I feel like that would almost, I don't know if it'd force a response out of Sumner County, but boy, I would sure put some heat on them for sure. And then we could show some emails, literally, because I have them, screenshots of these sent in, especially the later ones where there wasn't much of a response, and say, hey, look, we sent these out and nothing. Let me know what you think in the chat. I agree, Michelle. We need to see that video. Good to see hindsight. TBI did a statement last year. Yeah. Which is weird, but yeah. Yeah, excellent idea. I think so. It's worth a shot, right? Can't hurt anybody. I don't know if anybody knows. I mean, I'm sure there's, any of these news outlets have like a certain email, but I know that there's some of the journalists have their own emails that, probably are more likely to be read. So yeah, I think it's a good idea. And Paige says, I'll email anyone, just say the word. Yeah, I think, we want to, obviously we don't want to wait too long, but in theory, if Nancy Guthrie, maybe give it a week, and if it cools down, there's not much going on, the news outlets, obviously, they'll still cover it, but it's not going to be, they're still going to look for other stories. And if we're still kind of, even though 2nd anniversary has happened, technically, it's still in that vicinity, in that window. I think it would be very fascinating if it did work, if one of these picked it up. And then if one picks it up, then I guarantee you, if one of the big ones pick it up, others, are going to jump to it. Because let's face it, when it comes to surveillance, like I said, that is undeniable, unbiased truth, right? Surveillance. Yeah, even TMZ. Oh. Pocahontas says I wrote to several news outlets regarding my baby cousin's case, and they did eventually pick it up, and it did get a lot of attention. Interesting. Yeah, I can't speak for Bullhorn Betty. We have our own thing going on, and the more people that have, say, a packet that they're building. I told you guys we've been. I mean, I mentioned this what feels like 5 months ago, easily, and I promise you, it's been built for a long time. And yeah. We do plan on submitting that. We wanted to kind of submit that, but unfortunately, just some things happened behind the scenes that just, kind of delayed it. But it's still going to happen no matter what. And it's pretty much done. Here is... Oh. Here's our favorite Nick Barris. And again, I emailed him on the 25th, all that information, tons of different stuff. No response. And I even emailed him sometime last year. I think it was about the 3 a.m. footage. Just some basic questions, nothing like super intrusive, but no response. But here's his garbage, more or less saying the same thing. No leads, nothing. What happened to him? Here's what they did, a bunch of searches. If you know anything, call in some tips. Garbage. Just copy paste. What? Is that true, Paige? I love Chris McDonough. Oh my god. I've reached out to him, but I get it. I've only had the one email, and I unfortunately didn't respond, but I don't blame him. Again, I can imagine how many emails that guy gets, and it may not be a direct one. It's kind of more, maybe more people have access to that one. I don't know. There's the only one I could find at the time. This was kind of early days when we had the footage, and I was kind of hoping maybe he would kind of hop on and give his 2 cents. But he works at Cold Case Foundation. I'm sure he's torn, got a lot on his plate. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? He's just such a down-to-earth guy. Yeah, I love him. I would love to get his insight on the footage we have. Oh my gosh. I mean, like I said, I had some former law enforcement behind the scenes email me, give me their perspective on what I had or what we have. But it would sure be nice to have somebody like Chris McDonough. Yeah. Yeah, that may not hurt. Wouldn't hurt. So if you're coming in, oh well, we almost have 400 people in here. That's awesome. We're gonna do something special for Sebastian Rogers at the end of the live. We'll talk about that here in just a bit for his 2-year anniversary. Before we get to that here, as far as the new stuff, it's just kind of a connection that Silver's on the Scene discovered while they're out there. I think they were gonna show up for the thing with the the silent walk protest, however you want to call it. Again, I think that's great. I heard. Does anybody know? I'm sorry, not to get sidetracked. I heard that allegedly one or more officers, again, take this with a grain of salt because I haven't seen it, so I don't know if it happened, but apparently they say that one of the Sumner County Sheriff's officers flipped off somebody or Seth when they were out there. I don't know if that's true or not. If anybody knows, is there video of that? That'd be very interesting to see. Okay, before we get to the interview, we're not going to watch the whole interview. I just want to listen to her talk about the reward, because to me, that is the most, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff, but that the way she talks about the reward, as if like it's almost like she's saying, well, there shouldn't be a reward to have to bring our son home, you know. Why incentivize anybody? Oh, you were there, Sassy. I was there and saw the officer do it. Can anybody share that? Can somebody email that to me? If there's a link? Yeah, if you guys can, you know. Oh, it was Seth. Really? Okay, so it is true. He yelled at you guys? Yeah, I don't know if you guys, if there's like a clip you could send me. We'll kind of circle back to that. But I was kind of curious to see that. Dog posted it on X. Okay, I'll see if I can find it. I was just curious to see it. But when you look up Sebastian Rogers, last year it was pretty massive. Well, I don't want to say massive. I don't know if that's a proper word, but there was a lot, you know. And then of course, what sparked a lot of the attention is because of the 1 year con where possible sighting, which they had to quickly debunk. But this is it. This is it. Most of it comes from WSMB. And where's that one video I just played? Okay, this one is absolutely frustrating. And this is I think their sister network here.
I don't know if you've heard, but IXL is perfect.
Was it on YouTube? Hold on.
Here we are 2 years later.
No, not this one. Not this one. I have it. I'll have to play this one.
Grainger offers professional grade products.
Okay. I have to play this one. But there was one on YouTube because I had the comments.
Rogers disappeared from his mother's home in Hendersonville. He was just 15 years old at the time.
Okay,
Still,
yeah.
no
Sorry.
sign of him.
Okay, there's that one from the sister network. There's that one. God, this is pathetic. That's it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Wait, is this it? Yeah, this is it. 131.
Well, protesters are voicing their frustration.
Okay. Right? Nope. How in the hell do I not have that one? Oh, I gotta clean up my bookmarks. This is it.
Today marks 2 years since Sumner County.
Yep, this is it. All right, listen to what they say. This is so ironic and pathetic at the same time. Okay, yeah, if you can find it and email it to my Join the Mob crew, that'd be awesome. If not, maybe we can find a way. I just figured there'd be a clip somewhere on Twitter or a TikTok that we could someone could share with me. But yeah, we'll circle back to it.
County teen Sebastian Rogers was
Okay, so listen to this. This is so pathetic.
reported missing, and despite several searches, dozens of tips, obviously there's been no credible information that's led to him.
Our Hunter Hoagland is here with us now. Hunter, the sheriff's office says they are still committed to finding him.
Yeah, the sheriff's office says they have not forgotten about Sebastian and that this case is still active. Local, state, and federal law enforcement have all been involved. And the sheriff's office also wants to remind people to only rely on information released from law enforcement. This case has gotten a lot of attention, including false narratives that continue to be thrown around. So here's what we do know for a fact. His mom told us she last saw him right before he went to bed. The very next morning, he was gone from his home on Stafford Court. Sebastian does have a medical condition along with autism. He was 15 years old when he went missing and would have just turned 17 years old this week. We talked with his mom, who says she and her husband have both received threats over the last 2 years, all from people accusing them of knowing something and not saying anything to police. Katie Proudfoot says not only does it hurt them, but it doesn't help the investigation. She says she wants people to continue being focused on the main goal, and that's bringing Sebastian home.
Threats.
So that's you got a 2-minute window here, right? You got a quick little spot of your interview highlight. You know, you did 27 minutes, and this is what they chose. And what's the first? Poor me, I got threats.
Threats, lies, or misinformation is not helpful. I don't think that it does any good to help find Sebastian, and I would ask that people take a step back and consider that not everything you may hear is accurate or healthy. All I can say is that I feel like he is out there, and that is my main hope, that him being out there means that he's alive and that he can come home when we find him.
And our whole interview there with Sebastian's mom is over on our free WSMV4 News app. The FBI now offering a $50,000 reward for any information that could lead to finding Sebastian. Lydia and Tracy, over to you.
All right, Hunter, thank you.
Okay. I think I got a video. I hear my phone. It's charging somewhere. Oh, did you guys catch that? I'm sorry. I'm trying to multitask. Did you hear what they said about his birthday? Did you guys catch that? Okay, thank you guys. I do see the video, so I do have it. I'll put it up here in just a second. Did you guys catch the birthday thing? I mean, that's pathetic. Yeah. Would have turned 17 this week. Now, I'll be honest. We're humans. We make mistakes. But still, I mean, you're a reporter. You're supposed to
Accusing them
fact check.
of knowing something and not saying anything to police. Home on Stafford Court. Sebastian does have a medical condition along with autism. He was 15 years old when he went missing and would have just turned 17 years old this week. We talked with his mom, who says...
And then they talk about misinformation. It's kind of funny and ironic, right? Yeah. Anyway, they got slammed in the comments, which I think is hilarious. You go, guys. You guys are so passionate. But I thought that was funny. Okay. Let's check out this little clip with the finger. This live is nearly 2 hours. Of course, you're not going to watch 2 hours. I'm just curious.
What was going on? Who flipped who off? You know, some of you did not see it.
Oh.
I have the video running in the background. It is credit to Bullhorn Betty. And I want to talk to you a little bit of context about it before, I get into.
Oh. I mean, unless he's pointing at him like, hey, yeah, you go, guys. Love the passion. I mean, unfortunately, I guess she's, it says 8 times. So this, whoever's filming, I'm assuming Bullhorn must have been further back. Wow.
What was going on? Who flipped who off? You know, some of you did not see.
I mean, no, again, that is totally unprofessional. I'd be curious if they it said something, but still, it does. I don't, you know,
see it.
still
I have the
unprofessional.
video running in the background. It is credit to Bullhorn Betty. And I want to talk to you a little bit of context about it before, you know, I get into the phone
And unfortunately, it's just too grainy to
calls that I made.
see
Hello,
the
let
actual
them
finger.
6060. Deanna D. Jen, thank you for being here to mod. Doodle.
All right, sorry, I'm gonna turn her down. Yeah, dang it. This is too far away. I mean, either he's pointing like, "Hey, you go, guys," or I would lean towards that's probably him flipping them off. Yeah, let's see from a without it being so zoomed in. Oh, that's from a different angle. Or is that a different? No, that's a different time. Oh, that's before. What's he doing? Doesn't look like he's flipping there. Unless he's doing it sideways. Doesn't look like he has a camera in his hand. The only other thing would be is he filming them? I mean, to me, I'm pretty sure he's flipping them off, but I'm just trying to look at it from all angles. I mean, that second one. I mean, that looks just like any gesture someone's preparing for the finger. Although it does look like he has a phone right there, though. I don't know. Yeah. It was sideways. Yeah. Oh, he points and then flips them off. Wow, that's pathetic. Oh, that's terrible. It's too bad they didn't get a better yeah, now that I look at it, like yeah, I think you're right. Like it looks like he's flipping them off there and then pointing the second time. Is that what it looks like? Is that what people are saying? A certain YouTuber got her banned. Who banned? Sorry, I trying to look at the video here. Damn, it's too bad that didn't have more camera angles. Anyway, that's disgusting. It's a shame. So it's a point and flip or flip and point. One of the two. Yeah, it does look like that. He didn't wish them well. That doesn't surprise me. He told Seth to fill in an application form to find his son. Man, this needs to be recorded. Man, he needs to have like some kind of phone in his pocket recording any conversations. Just more ammo to use to get these clowns out of Sebastian's case and get into somebody's hands that actually give a shit. No. Nuh-uh. Wait, no. No way. Illuminati? Wait, is it banned or is it just being reported? Hold on, now you got me like, what's going on here? What? No way. Nice. That is crazy. Karma's a bitch. Karma is a bitch. Oh my god, I didn't know that. I'm sorry, this is supposed to be about Sebastian, but you know, when you have certain inside information, but you just discard it. Damn, when did this happen? What? I mean, because Nancy Guthrie and I thought it was odd that she was on Queen Bee a lot. Because, you know, why be on Queen Bee? I know she's, you know, got a lot of viewers, but, you know, what? Like Tuesday? Oh my God. This is news to me. Yeah, Karma. Do we know why? She moved on to Kick now. Oh, yeah. Karma's a bitch. I'm going to be on. Well, I better not say anything because I don't want to jinx it. But I think that if that's it, I think there's other channels that may come next. You know. I mean, all this is just garbage, just tearing everybody else down, right? If you were to chat GPT what some of those channels, I have nothing against like panel channels, right? I think it's great to get views. You know, that's not me. That's when I built this channel. I got ADD. There's just I can't have like a bunch of people, you know, talking. It just overstimulates me. But you know, when you have a channel that it just all you're doing is just tearing everybody else down. You type in like what they do, like certain channels like hers on ChatGPT, and then ask them and then ask ChatGPT like why do they do this? The answer that ChatGPT gives, and you could do it a million different ways. Like you could take like, you know, like transcripts, you know, little transcripts of them, you know, and whatever. And I promise you'll end up coming with the same results. It's pathetic. But anyway, and more important, but that is crazy. So what happens when you disregard information about Sebastian's case, and then you make up lies, such as saying that the neighbor walked out with the garbage can. I know that's bullshit. I debunked it. And I know people that have allegedly spoken to that person. I don't want to say 100%, but there was word on the street that guy said, like, what the hell? I think it's a couple that lives there, and not an elderly couple, but, you know. Anyway, yeah. So, shame on them. Karma. Yes, I would agree. They would probably have to go and grab all that for sure. Oh, yeah. And yeah, once you're banned, that's it. YouTube, they don't mess around. Man, I am curious to see what she did. But anyway, today's about Sebastian, so I don't want to get sidetracked, but that's a win. I don't know. It does, in a way, it stings a little bit because, yes, Crispy did come up on her channel, and we know Crispy just can't help but run his mouth. So it is kind of like a double-edged sword in that sense, but, you know, karma's a bitch. You never watch it. You're not missing much. I mean, unless you feel good about watching people tear other people down to make themselves feel better. I mean, we're all, I don't want to say we're all, but, we all go through our issues and stuff. And, anyway, let's move on. Let's get back on track. I'm so sorry, but wow, I'm just like, poof. I don't even know how I didn't hear about that. I am just blown away. Scranton sent me. Is this the clip? Oh, is this something? Is this maybe a closer clip? Let me look at this and then let's move on. Sorry, I'm just like oh, the main event. Okay. So this is from Betty, but I'm assuming it's probably towards the end, it looks like, right? Yeah, it's towards the end. Or no. Thank you, Stringler, for sending that to me. I'll have to look. Maybe I could clean it up a little bit. I mean, I think we could agree. That looks like he's flipping him off and pointing at him. Anyway, but thank you, Strangler. That's awesome. Anyway, all right, let's get back on track. I know I promised some interesting info. We'll get to that next after this little interview. I'm not going to play the entire interview. I just wanted to highlight. As a matter of fact, I literally, you know me, I do a bunch of homework, and I'm sure you can't see this. Take notes. Anyway, it don't matter. Christ, when I cracker, the blue doesn't really show up, does it, though? Oh, that's my social security number. Don't look at that. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. Anyway, God, you can't see it at all. Just a piece of paper. It's got all the stuff on it. You just don't know it. I wrote down, from her 1 year anniversary, I wrote down all the questions because I'm curious, and I just, because I'm sidetracked between two cases, I wanted to take the one with Duchess that Katie did on the birthday, for his latest birthday in December. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to write down every question that was asked. And anyway, I've got the 1 year and 2 year anniversary because I wanted to kind of see, because I know that the questions that she's being asked, especially if it's just Katie, I'm sure even Katie and or Crispy, obviously they're pre-done beforehand. But I noticed in the second interview, I am not joking, she asks the same question twice, multiple times, like in different, either she'll literally ask pretty much the same question without even changing it, or she'll frame it slightly different, such as the first question she asks. Here, let me play this and then I'll show you again. But yeah, listen to this.
Thank you for coming to talk with me today to help bring Sebastian back to the forefront of people's minds. So here we are. It's now two years this week since Sebastian's disappearance. What feels different about this anniversary than the first?
Well, first, I don't particularly consider it more of an anniversary because in my mind an anniversary is something worth celebrating, and this is anything but that. Truthfully, every day hurts the same.
Should have put
I mean,
down.
it's it doesn't.
So how do you feel 2 years later? Okay. We jump.
Particularly what we don't know is what makes it more difficult
Let me see what
to.
question she's.
You hope over this last year.
There's been several times where I've gotten my hopes up, but I know that law enforcement is still working on Sebastian's case. Him making his little jokes. I miss watching him run around with the dogs. I miss all of it, the good, the bad. I miss everything about my son.
What would you say to him if he were to walk through that door?
I would tell him that
So
we love you.
How long will you keep searching?
Until my last breath. I'll never stop.
What kind of question is that?
I'll never stop searching for him.
What do you think happened?
I feel like, as a parent, a lot of times we have these other...
My main hope is that him being out there means that he's alive and that he can
Okay,
come
now
home
watch
when we
this.
find him.
I want to talk a little bit about the latest with the investigation. So have there been any tips at all that have given you hope over this last year?
There's been several times where I've gotten enough to, don't know, you need to follow up. I don't fill it in, but right away.
How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel? So later, and still nothing. So as his later,
Okay,
I don't know,
right
you
here.
need to follow up on. So that's my ask of anyone and everyone is call it in, but right away.
Here we are 2 years later, and still
The first question she just
nothing.
asked.
So as his mom, how does that make you feel?
That is the first question she asked. 2 years. What do you feel about now? It's been 2 years later. I'm paraphrasing. She asked the same damn question. Basically, she just switched a few words around. Same fucking question. Absolutely a joke. And there's more. There's a couple more that are just kind of flipped around. But yeah, absolutely pathetic. But let's get to the reward, and then we'll get to the new thing. Because the reward is just, I can't believe it.
I would tell him that we love you. I would tell him that we miss you so very much. I would tell him to stay strong. I would tell him to hang in there, and that if he ever had the opportunity to reach out and get a safe adult and, call 911 if you have to, that we're looking and we're never going to stop looking.
A little
and
bit more.
What's going on? Do you have anything in your innermost thoughts that you think happened to him?
Okay, this question, this answer is interesting as well. Watch what she does here.
Truthfully, I think that there are different options based off of what we know. And
Okay, watch how she says this. What we know, but what we don't know. And then she, of course, is going to go to what we don't know. I found this very interesting. Again, this would be great for Deception Detective. Has he done a video on this? Because I know he'll, I don't want to say he will, but he usually gives me permission to watch his video, after it's been out for a while, to allow it to do its thing. But does anybody know? Has he done one? I know I could look that up, but listen to this one. There's just two things with the interview, and then we'll move to the main part of the show. Oh, let me back that up just so you can hear the question.
truthfully, I think that there
Okay. Yeah. Let me grab full screen real quick so I can grab a drink.
What's going on? Do you have anything in your innermost thoughts that you think happened to him?
Truthfully, I think that there are different options based off of what we know and what we don't know. More particularly, what we don't know is what makes it more difficult to do that. But
like, as a parent, a lot of times we have these other, intuitions, just different thoughts and feelings about what's going on. Do you have anything in your innermost thoughts that you think happened to him?
Truthfully, I think that there are different options based off of what we know and what we don't know. More particularly, what we don't know is what makes it more difficult to do that. But all I can say is that I feel like he is out there, and that is my main hope. That him being out there means that he's alive and that he can come home.
There's always things you don't know in an open investigation, but why not share some theories? But I find that interesting. I love to hear deception detective. I'm sure that's some kind of deception to negate to what we don't know, and then, sidetrack off that question.
We find him.
I want to talk a little bit about the latest with the investigation. So have there been any tips at all that have given you hope over this last year?
There's been several times where I've gotten my hopes up, but I know that law enforcement is still working on Sebastian's case. I know that they are still taking any tips or leads that anyone can call in, but unfortunately, none have been significant enough to help us find Sebastian yet. So my plea would be that if anyone knows or sees something, to please call it in, and call it into legitimate law enforcement, the TBI find, the sheriff's office, but don't wait, because I know that some people, they would wait, and you can't follow up on something that you don't know you need to follow up on. So that's my ask of anyone and everyone is call it in, but right away.
We did as a community.
Here we are 2 years later, and
yep, same question you asked the very first question, Holly. I really don't blame Holly. She's just doing her job.
And I know that there are other moms that are going through this with so many missing children. And since Sebastian's gone,
because the reward question just blows my mind, the way she answers this.
You see Sebastian or any of the missing kids, and it's only a fleeting thought. And going through this, going through my son missing, has really opened my eyes and really made me aware of how oblivious we can be. And so it's really made me try to get more people out there to do more than just glance at the flyer, but to actually take 10 seconds. To actually look.
Don't glance at it, okay? Take 10 seconds. Don't glance. Don't take 4 seconds. Don't take 5. Take 10 seconds. For Christ's sakes.
And to actually pay attention, and just to, I don't know, like when you're out and you're walking, just take half an eye out to have that awareness of who you're seeing, because any one of these children, including Sebastian, I mean, you could walk by him, and my prayer is that if that happens, that you recognize him and that you know, and that call will come in so that we can find him and all the missing kids.
What was the last update that you received from investigators?
Unfortunately, the updates that we receive are about the same as the public, that they do still get tips and that they do follow up on them, but unfortunately there's nothing significant to report at this point that we know of. I mean, I know that we don't know everything, but my prayer is that if something significant comes in, that we would know right away.
Never makes eye contact, ever. God, that is frustrating.
Now, we know the FBI is...
Okay, here's the last thing, and then we'll move on. Let me get to super chats here, because we're at the end of the month, and that does help this channel out. Blue Third, hello, Chris. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you so much, Blue Third. I really, really appreciate that. You know, for this upcoming week, we'll be kind of rotating between Guthrie and Sebastian. I really like the idea of trying to reach out to some of these big networks. I think that would be a really, I mean, if one of them picked up, you know, our cemetery footage, man, that could really put some pressure on Sumner County, in my opinion. It certainly wouldn't hurt. Okay, now the reward question, which boggles my mind.
He's offering this $50,000 or up to $50,000 for information, now leading to Sebastian's whereabouts. So, do you feel that more needs to be offered?
Oh, sorry. I meant to grab both of these. I am so sorry, Calgal. Thanks, Chris. Love from Abu Dhabi. Oh, thank you, Calgal. That is so sweet. God bless you. Helps me out so much. And, man, we try to do everything we can for poor Sebastian. Sassy, you don't need to do that. Thank you so much for the $20. And that is so awesome. You were out there showing your support for Sebastian. God bless you, and thank you for what you do, everything for my channel. That, of course, that goes to all the mods, but God bless you guys. All right, let's listen to this nonsense, and then we'll get into the main part here. But this just boggles my mind. I would love to hear what Deception Detective has to say about her response about this reward. I think this tells everything.
Now leading to Sebastian's whereabouts. So, do you feel that more needs to be offered or something else needs to be done for someone to come forward?
I would hope that it wouldn't take money for someone to come forward in something like this.
You just had... No, I doubt they have $1 million, lying around. They're certainly not poor either. As we can see her getting her nails done, getting motorcycles, living in RV parks, you name it. They're not even really living at their home right now. And then, of course, the extended family, they've got businesses and stuff. So they have means to easily up that reward. But she feels that, reward shouldn't be an incentive. That is pathetic.
I'm grateful for the FBI offering that $50,000 reward. I would give anything to have Sebastian home, and unfortunately, I think $50,000 should have been if someone knew something.
That's all her son's worth. $50,000, right? I know most of you or all of you would give anything, your lives if needed, if it brought your child back. But her $50,000.
Something should have been a very big incentive, but I mean, put $1 million up.
Well, yeah.
I know that his Amber Alert is still active as well.
Change the subject.
But I would like to think that there are people out there with God in their hearts that wouldn't need an incentive to return my son home.
So people that take children have God in their heart. Is she on something?
But if there were, if you need something, ask. Just send him home.
If someone,
God, man, I hope he puts out a video, because I feel like there's a lot of ammunition there. And again, that's not my area of expertise. I'm sure he could tear this video up. Again, does anybody know? I mean, I'm gonna look it up I'm just gonna let this play for just a second. I just want
is
to look
out there
this.
watching and they know something. They've just chosen to remain silent, or maybe they've made a discovery. What do you want to say to them right now?
Turn it in. Call it in. Give my son the opportunity to come home to his family and to his life and his future. And if there's anything holding you back, don't let it, because Sebastian is he's a person, and he is a son and a friend and a grandson and a nephew and a cousin, and he deserves to be home. So if there's any reason that someone wouldn't allow that to happen, I can't think of a reason why someone wouldn't do that. So if you know something, say something.
Do you think someone knows something and they're not saying it?
I pray that if someone knows something that they will call it in, and I don't know if anyone knows something, but if they do, I would plead to please turn it in.
If Sebastian was taken, because again, we don't know exactly what's happened. If he was taken, if he was abducted, what would you say to that person?
Give my son back. Bring him home. Why? What do you want? I would just say let him go if someone had him. I mean, I don't have...
It's kind of funny. The one last thing to mention. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's done a video. Wait.
This T-shirt is a great sign that he's innocent.
No, this is a year ago.
This
Hopefully he does. Maybe it's just because the Nancy Grace. I mean, I get it from YouTubers' perspective, especially when you're putting out short. It's one thing to do live shows for anybody that doesn't know a lot about YouTube and how it works. Doing YouTube lives doesn't really affect the algorithm as much. But when you put out short videos, if you start gaining momentum, you kind of want to keep that momentum going. And then, you want to kind of ride those big cases. Sadly, it doesn't work. A person with 200 subscribers could easily get the same amount of views, even though I'm almost at 100K. They could cover the Nancy Guthrie and get lucky and get 30,000 views, and I could put out a video and it get 5,000. Again, there's a lot to it. So, anyway, I still think he could do a video on this and just destroy her. And I'm sure he probably will, but maybe he's just waiting, maybe for the Guthrie case to kind of calm down. I'm sure he'll come back to this. It seems like he is clearly invested in this case. All right, guys, let's get into what we are going to cover today. And I know we've already kind of gone an hour, but it shouldn't take much longer. So I'm going to go full screen because I know there's some people maybe coming over from new. I've gotten a lot of new subscribers, so some of you may just been coming in from the Nancy Guthrie case. This is the Sebastian Rogers case that we've been covering for a long time and heavily invested in because we've just a lot of history and a lot of inside sources connected to this case. And we do believe that this case can be solved. It just needs to get into the right hands of the people that care. But anyway, so Silvers was out there as well for that silent walk that they did earlier this week, Wednesday, Thursday. Well, I mean, they were out there for a few days. And they went back to the cemetery and they discovered something that's kind of interesting. So, to kind of connect this all, I'll play this little video. This is a video that just kind of shows everything that's, if you don't know what I'm talking about, as far as like the cemetery footage and stuff, I'll play this that way just for anybody that's not up to date. Play this and then we'll talk about what kind of Silvers showed me and kind of connect the dots with it. So anyway, looks like someone might have got timed out. I don't know. Thank you, mods. My mods are always on it. Patty, oh, thank you so much for the $3 super chat. You're so sweet. People like her, the reason my ex-husband refused to let me go to school for social worker for abused kids. That's a tragedy. I'm sorry to hear that, Lori. Oh, and Patty gifted a Mob Crew membership. Oh, thank you so much, Patty. That is so sweet. Poppy Love. Puppy Love. Poppy, thank you so much for the membership and continued support. Jen, good to see you, sweetheart. As always, God bless you for the amazing support over all these years. I can't believe it's like been basically 4 years. It's crazy. Time has flown. Geneva, good to see you, sweetheart. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. You are so sweet. Thanks for being invested with the missing. God bless. Yeah, I'm hoping. I don't want to toot my own horn and I don't want to curse anything. But it would be nice to maybe go out, not with Sebastian because that's much further away, but maybe on another case like I used to. Last year, obviously, I was out. Okay. Dina Ryder, I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Cindy, thank you as well. God bless you, sweetheart. And Tina, members for 3 months. Thank you for keeping this case alive. Yeah, we'll never give up, no matter what. I just wish, some of these channels, that we want Sebastian to come home. I feel like there was a kind of a divide over, last year towards the end, and I hate that. We all want the same thing, Sebastian Rogers. Anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked on a rant, but. Dreaming, thank you so much for the 4 months. Continue to pray. He'll be found, justice will come. And I hope he comes back home, alive. I pray. And Nurse K says, always thank you for what you do for the case. Thank you so much. Okay, I'll come back. I know there was like some gifted. Let me play this, and then we'll jump into what this basically leads into what we were going to cover. All right, so here is a recap just for anybody that may be coming that's new to the channel. Here we go.
One night before, 15-year-old autistic teen, Sebastian Rogers, suspiciously disappeared, approximately 500 yards away, just beyond the construction site a bright light was captured on surveillance. Figure out what was this light, where it was coming from, and how it connected to Rogers' disappearance. And what we found will absolutely shock you.
Come down to where I'm sitting right here. So watch this. Of course, with my lights off, you can't see anything. If I turn my lights on, I can see just graves and grass. But imagine for a moment that somebody was there and said, hey, I can't see. Turn your high beams on. Of course, it opens up the whole area. I see more. And what do I see? The monument. And they're telling me they can see it on the camera, just like the footage we've been looking at. Boom!
Sebastian Rogers was last physically seen on camera leaving the Texas Roadhouse with his mother Katie Proudfoot on Feb 25th. Whether he actually made it home that night is highly debated, but what I have recently discovered on surveillance from a nearby camera in Rogers' neighborhood could hold the answers to what may have happened to Sebastian Rogers. Sebastian Rogers' home is located here. The surveillance camera that captured the suspicious activity is located approximately here, with 2 cameras pointed towards the east, overlooking the construction site and further. The suspicious activity seen on these cameras took place here at this cemetery and also school. Just after this suspicious light illuminates for approximately 6 minutes, a little before 3:30 a.m. At 3:32, a headlight of a vehicle can be seen moving south in the cemetery. This would not be the only vehicle seen that night. Another vehicle is seen at 3:45, and just 4 minutes later, another headlight is seen at 3:49. Although there is 2 cameras that overlook the entrance to the church and cemetery, as of now, there is no sign of these vehicles seen, entering or exiting, the only main entrance to the south. On the night Sebastian Rogers disappeared, the suspicious light can be seen again at around 3:40 a.m. It is illuminated for around 6 minutes, just like on the 25th. Then after it's done being illuminated, minutes later, multiple vehicles can be seen, driving in the cemetery and at the school. Once again, more suspicious activity the night Rogers went missing. So what is the object that is being illuminated for around 6 minutes on the 25th and 26th, and how could it be connected to Sebastian Rogers' disappearance? Here is a daytime shot from the surveillance camera where you can see the construction site. It is also overlaid with the nighttime shot of the suspicious light source. You can see how the suspicious light is just beyond the construction site in the cemetery. As Silver's on the scene drives through the cemetery, you can see that the construction site is to his left. As he continues north, he is now in the middle of the cemetery, approaching a loop. As he turns right, you will notice what they call lumbry. This object is made out of highly reflective material, like concrete, granite, and marble. This memorial also sits at a slight tilt when viewing from the east, just like the object seen in the surveillance footage. Notice both objects are rectangular in shape. As you can see here, this memorial has no artificial lighting, not in the front or the back, so whatever caused this to be illuminated at 3 a.m. on the 25th and 26th had to have come from another light source, but what? The obvious answer would be headlights from a vehicle, but what we discovered about this answer would prove to be quite disturbing and shocking.
So there's a daytime to overnight time overlay. I've done this a bunch of times because there was some people, and I get you got to question things, but wondered, was this in the construction? But no, it's not in the construction. It's right on the horizon. This is definitely the Columbrian being lit up. We did some testing, and long story short, after this, what's so fascinating is where you had seen Silvers when he was in that vehicle and he was up on that little ridge. That is where we see the vehicles almost coming out. And what's interesting is just before Sebastian Rogers went missing, there was a person buried in that exact area, literally 6 days prior to his disappearance.
Seen here is another daytime shot, overlaid with nighttime, where you can see the memorial to the right.
And in this box, give me a second here. Oh, I should have had Google Earth up. Usually I'm on top of this. Because I know we got some people in here, and I know there's been some donations. Give me a second. I want to just kind of knock this out without getting... But here is, so anybody that's new, that's where he went missing, and there's cameras everywhere, right? And we do have some of the footage from a home here, and there's a short clip here. There's literally a camera face in his front yard and his backyard, almost covering the entire home 360. And yet, he is never seen coming out of that home, at least on camera. But anyway, what we're focused on is the night before. So not the night that he went missing, but the night before, we see all this activity that's going on here. Here's the Columbian, but here's where we see these vehicles where I have that little square rectangular right here. And there happened to be a person that was buried right there, 6 days prior. And what's interesting is, as you can see some of these graves, even from this shot here, do you guys notice some things about these graves? Do you notice there's grass, and then there's these plots? Well, I don't know the exact timing, but a lot of the fresher graves, people that have just been buried, they'll fill them up a bit, but they won't sod them. They won't put the sod over. They'll put straw and some other stuff on top of it. Now, I guess maybe it depends. Maybe the time of year, maybe like they have to wait until put some stuff down. Again, I'm not an expert in this, so I'm just kind of theorizing, but maybe to get the proper stuff to make sure that when they put the sod over, it grows and it just doesn't die. But keep that in mind. So, with those details, it was very odd that, again, the night before he went missing, there's light activity here and vehicles seen driving up and down in the cemetery, at least 2 vehicles. And then there's another light, which is going to tie into our main thing for today, is there's a little street. You can see it here. And it just dead ends into this lot here, plot, I mean. And there's a light that kicks on for about 2 minutes. It looks like another gravestone that's being lit up, kind of like how the columbarium is. But it's lit up for 2 minutes, exactly. So on both nights, you have the columbarium for 6 minutes, almost exactly. And then you have a headstone that's lit up for about 2 minutes, both nights. So the night before he went missing, and then I say night, but it's kind of like the early morning of that he went missing. And it's almost like there was a practice run.
And in the yellow box is where we before Sebastian Rogers disappeared on the 25th. So what?
And so a lot of you guys know we went out, we did a little fundraiser. And we went out with GPR because we thought there was a possibility that maybe they could have buried Sebastian in one above the vault or got rid of evidence. So we hired a GPR team along with the cadaver dog handler. Now the cadaver dog handler did not pick up anything. So at least we can say, even though we didn't get any leads, at the very least we can say we cleared it, and this particular handler this dog has been used in this case before, so he's familiar with what's kind of been searched. I don't know, how much, to what degree, but clearly he knows. But there were some anomalies in the data, and we've gone over that in a previous live, that there could have been possibly evidence down there. And now we did get a report. We sent that to the FBI, all the agencies technically, but we did send it to the FBI as well. And because I know somebody that works in this field, she wrote up a report and signed it, saying, look, I don't know what's down there. She can't say, hey, I know there's definitely something down, like evidence wise, but she did a report saying, hey, look, there's anomalies there. We don't know what they are. They should be further looked into. So that's a big report for us to be able to send into the FBI. Now this is where we get to what Silver's kind of discovered, which is kind of interesting. This is what's called the Scout. This is that other thing that I was talking about earlier, where there was the Columbian being lit up and this like what looks like a headstone, because it's not a headlight from a vehicle, because they're more round. This is definitely some kind of headstone, and you'll see it here. I feel like my window's closed. It is. And as I said before, as you can see the date, this is the night before he went missing. But just like with everything else, there's a pattern, because this is, again, the night before he goes missing. But then the next day, on the 26th, the early morning, around the same time, this light, which I believe is a headstone, illuminates again. And when I first saw it, I thought, oh, it might be a house light, but it's not. The edge of the homes end up like over here. And this is actually part of the church here, and I will show it here. But this is the but the approximate position of where this light source is at. And this will tie into Silver's here in just a minute. I'll put it together. So bear with me here, because there's a lot. Oh, what did Rob ask? I'm sorry. Yeah, and it was not cheap, Rob. It was that's why we did the fundraiser, the $1,400. It was $1,100 for the GPR. They're not cheap. And then we had we wanted to just do $1,400 because that would have been perfect for the GPR and then the cadaver dog. But we did end up going over because I thought it would stop at the $1,400 goal, which will lead into what we're going to do in honor of Sebastian here in about 20 to 30 minutes here. But yeah, as you can see, at the same time, we have lights going on over here and this thing over here. And again, that's happening on the night before and the night of. And, we've debated on, trying to look at it from all angles, what's a non-nefarious thing that could be going on during that hour. And the closest thing would be, like ghost hunting or something. But, it doesn't really make sense. Why would you go back 2 nights in a row? And, you're only going to be in there for 30 to 40 minutes. And then the other thing is that they don't come in. We can't ever see the vehicles come in. There's only 2 main entrances. Really, there's only one main entrance, which is off. You kind of go through. There's an inlet and outlet. But technically one entrance, and there's a little church here. And this is kind of a historical cemetery. There's only one other way out, and that is through a private drive, but there is a gate. Now, sometimes the gate is unlocked, but I think more than not it's locked because a lot of these homes over here, they're farms, they have animals, and they don't want, especially any of those animals coming in into the cemetery, and and a lot of times too, that thing is padlocked. It's got a key, And so what's interesting, and I've looked and looked and looked, except for the night he goes missing, we see the vehicles leave, and we can see that on 2 different cameras, but we never see them enter, which is super sus. And here is from a different camera that's looking towards that same direction. This is the night he went missing, and we can see on the night he goes missing in a cemetery, there are at least 2 vehicles leaving almost 2 minutes apart, perhaps up to 3 vehicles leaving literally 2 minutes apart from each other. Why would there be 2 to 3 vehicles on the night he went missing in a historical tiny cemetery, and they were also seen the night before, if this isn't connected to his case? It's insane. There's just no way that this isn't connected. It'd have to be one of the biggest coincidences of some random, and again, the only other thing would be like a drug deal, but that'd be so dumb. Why would they go into the cemetery and they wouldn't be out there for nearly an hour doing that? And I'm sure they wouldn't go back to the same area, right? So other than that, it really leads down to them doing a practice run the night before, and then them coming back, and we believe at the very least, if they didn't hide evidence, they moved Sebastian from one car to another. Oh, interesting, Kiki. That's interesting you brought that up. One of these days, once the Nancy Guthrie case kind of tones down, I would like to do because I don't have all the surveillance from Killen Ave during the like 7 a.m. to like noon or even later. Although I can't get it, it would be interesting to see, how like there's that video, I forget the lady's name, that kind of, did the dispatch audio and kind of showed like, where they were kind of at on the map. It'd be interesting to kind of see that on the Killen Ave cameras and see, what were they doing. So anyway, before I show what Silver sent me, there is, and this is, I think this is on the 26th here. And this is me kind of showing you, because I was trying to figure out, I kind of knew approximately where this was at, but I was trying to use other things behind here to kind of figure out, give me a better idea of where it is exactly, or, get it closer. Because I knew it's, in this particular ballpark area, but, was there anything else I could do to kind of narrow it down even more? And there they are back to back. So as you can see here, That's the 25th at 3:25. It pops on exactly 2 minutes, and then on the night he went missing, it's the same camera, same spot, and just before 4 a.m. the morning he went missing, exactly 2 minutes again, it is lit up. And again, what are the odds? And then just before that, a vehicle is seen driving out the exit. So, all right, here is, and I need to kind of use the restroom real quick. Here is some footage. Didn't I? Maybe it's after this. So here's some footage from Silver's that I had to make sure I kind of edit, make sure I didn't show anything, any license plates or anything. But we have Silver's car. He's showing his car, so that's not a big deal. Those lights, those triangle lights, I think I have that. I thought that was before this. Maybe it's right after. But anyway, keep in mind there's that driveway. This is very important. It connects to what we're talking about. There's this little road that cuts off, and it dead ends, right? And there's a couple of tall grave headstones that we believe that one of those were lit up. And it's now kind of thinking about it. If Silvers ever goes back out there, I didn't think about it at the time. If he ever gets a chance, it'd be interesting to have him park there and have his headlights on and see which of these ones, because there are just a few. Most of them are that 2 feet tall ish, but there are the few that are really tall. And anyway, and they are in that line of sight if you were to park. So that is where they're at. That's that road that's going to dead end here. And anyway, check out this video, and this will all come together, and then I can read chat here, but I got to use the restroom. Give me 1 second. And then notice the trees again, not to sidetrack, but man, I wonder if this came from the snowstorm. I'm assuming it did, that they had in January, which is pretty wild. Looked like it destroyed some parts of the headstones even. Okay, thank you. Let's see. Okay, take a sip here. So they sent me a little bit of footage, but there's more than just that footage. But let me. So after this, we're gonna circle back to that footage again, explain one more thing. But I thought, don't I point out Yeah. So here, just one last thing, and then we'll circle back to this footage and what they discovered. Here's this daytime to overnight time shot, and a lot of you have seen this. But again, as I was saying before, I was trying to figure out, what else could I see around where this light was. That's seen, I think, between these two trees here, and you can see that this is where that triangle, more or less shaped roof side part, or facing, I guess, of the roof to the church, and where the lights are attached. And then, of course, that's over here. And you can see that is there. So anyway, what they told me, which I find very fascinating, is that now I gotta find the footage. So again, imagine someone parked right here. Let me pause it right there. Imagine someone parked right there, right? Had their headlights on. Now there's a couple of headstones that are big. Most of them, I don't know. I said 2 feet. Again, I'm just spitballing, or 2 to 3 feet, maybe, I guess. But no, there's like, I think 2 to 3 big headstones in that line of sight, at least 2. And I think maybe this one and another one could be it, where there was a vehicle parked. But what's interesting is just over here. Now, I'm not going to show the exact grave site, just to be respectful. But, before we even went out with GPR and stuff and started finding all this footage, we did look up, recent burials around just before he went missing. And I believe there was 3, but really there was 2 that were kind of real close to his disappearance. And I forget the date because I don't want to show the gravestone, just to be respectful. But it's just to our left a little bit. So it's just by this road. But they were also, it was a female, I believe, and they were also buried before Sebastian went missing. A little bit before, versus the other lady that was up towards the north part. But it is very interesting that the other, should we put in there? Give me a number. Someone put a random number so I can just put it at the end there. It'll. Give me a random number, Sebastian Wayne. Yeah, but give me a random number so I can just put that in there. With high hopes to, yeah, there we go. With high hopes of finding Sebastian Rogers. 17? Okay. Join the mob crew. Okay, in honor of Sebastian. Okay, with high hopes, find Sebastian Rogers, 17. Put 17 up in his name. Okay. All right, I have to do this off screen because obviously details, save. Okay. Oh, perfect. It saved it. Okay. All right. Perfect. Sure. Okay. Oh, did I have my recent one in there? Okay, it's almost done. 1 second. Again, it's not all of it. Oh, 557. 4. What am I missing? Oh, I'm missing the month, year, date. Well, oh, shouldn't be saying this out loud. Okay, and donate now. Hope I get an email. That'd be nice. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. There we go. There we have it. Donation information, amount 500 one time in the honor of Sebastian Rogers 17. There's no way I could know what number you guys were going to pick for anybody that's going to try to debunk this. And I'm sure I've got an email waiting for me as well. This is in my junk. Oh, yeah, it's in my junk. Oh, yep, I got a receipt. Okay. God, that's small. Anyway, I'll show this next part in the live, but here's that. But yeah, I got an email. I think it's got some of my personal information, but there you go. In the honor, Sebastian Rogers 17. It does have, I think it has that memo as well. But anyway, 17 is what somebody picked in the thing. So 500. Wait, Kiki, we've already. What are you talking about? We already did that. We already got a report and stuff. We can't go out there and do anything or digging. We can't. I mean, what am I going to hold on to this for like 5 months? It doesn't work like that. Again, we did everything that yeah, anyway, I'm not again, I do not feel comfortable holding on to that money. And there's still a little bit left over. Again, sometime like mid-March. So, all right, guys, much love. And KK, I'm sorry if I'm saying Kiki. It's probably because Kiki and my dyslexia. I'm sorry. Here we go. Pet outro. Let's leave on a high note. Let's love our pets, our neighbors.
got you in my sight. I keep all the words you said to me. I get you on your knees. Rewrite all the things you said that I should be. I'll get you, now you'll bet.